My white husband confessed to me that he enjoys raceplay fantasies. I am not op. Original post by you, throwaway EGG52 in R, true off my chest. Trigger warnings. Racism. Manipulation. Less than. An NBSP. My white husband confessed to me that he enjoys raceplay fantasies the 23rd of November 2022. I'm black and my husband is white. Yesterday he admitted to me that recently he started to like something called raceplay, which means that he has sexual fantasies about racist situations. To be honest, I still don't know a lot about it, but an example that he gave me is that he has a fantasy about being a plantation owner while I'm a slave that he keeps as a mistress. I can't stand to look at him anymore because all I feel is disgust. He knows that I have been in relationships where I was objectified in the past, and I know that people can't control their sexual interest, but I can't separate this image of my husband being attracted to racist situations from the man that I fell in love with and married. He asked me if I was willing to give it a chance, but I told him that I didn't want to, and now he's sleeping in the guest room because we had a fight about me not being supportive. I think this might end my marriage, but I love him and want to work through it somehow. Update. I talked to my husband over lunch. I did what some of you suggested and asked him where he got the idea from and how he started to like it. Most of you were right. He discovered it on a porn site and began watching more porn videos featuring it. He told me that it's been about 2 months since he discovered it. Then he asked me again if I would give it a chance for him. When I told him that I was uncomfortable with it, he got upset again and asked why I wouldn't support him. He even offered that we could try it once, and then if I didn't like it we wouldn't have to do it again. But when I said no, he got frustrated and we started to argue. He reminded me of all of the things that he has done for me and how much he always supports me, and then called me manipulative. He has now left with the car to go spend time with his friends. I've been crying for the past 15 minutes and I don't know what else to do. Update 2. A couple of commenters have asked about it since the first update a couple of hours ago. I am now trying to see if one of my friends will let me stay with them for a day or two so that I can clear my head. I am no contact with most of my family, and the family members that I still talk to live several states away. So staying with family is not an option. And my husband owns the house, so I can't change the locks or tell him not to come home. Update 3. It is currently the middle of the night here. I left our house and am now staying with a good friend. And I will be staying here until this evening. I've been here for a few hours now. I did not see my husband before my friend picked me up. But I left him a voicemail to tell him that I needed space to clear my head. I also did what some of you suggested and said in the voicemail that I felt pressured by him into doing something that I didn't want. He has since heard the voicemail and has called and texted begging me to come home. He wants to come pick me up from her house in the morning, but I said no. He accused me of abandoning him right before Thanksgiving, and his best friend has also texted me to tell me that I'm a bad wife for treating my husband like this when he pays for everything and supports my lifestyle. To be honest, it made me cry more than what my husband said. I don't think I will be able to get any sleep tonight after this. This is not a part of the update, but I have received a lot of questions through comments and direct messages, so I will answer a few of them here. 1. I do not know if my husband has a porn addiction. To be honest, I am not sure how to tell if someone has a porn addiction. 2. I am 25 and my husband is 33. We have been together for 3 years. Almost 4. But we have only been married for 1 year. 3. My husband is the sole earner in our house. I am a stay-at-home wife and do not have any income. 4. We do not have any children together, but we're planning to start a family next year. I want children, but I am going to put it on hold until I figure things out, of course. 5. We have done domination in the bedroom before, so this porn did not awaken that kink in him. 6. All of my husband's ex-girlfriends are white. Aside from 2 guys that I dated in high school and my husband, all of the men that I've dated have been Hispanic or black. 7. Yes, we live in the South, but I do not feel comfortable disclosing what state. An NBSP. My husband is accusing me of ruining Thanksgiving because I won't come home to host for the family. The 24th of November 2022. Hello and happy Thanksgiving to all that celebrate. I apologize if this post seems like a ramble, but I have had a very difficult last few days, so my thoughts are a little incoherent. I was pointed in the direction of this subreddit by a user who private messaged me because she thought that I would benefit from it. My husband confessed to having a fetish the other day that I am very uncomfortable with. We had a fight about it and he accused me of not being supportive of him because I told him that I wouldn't give it a chance. This led to him sleeping in our guest room and more arguments. And after consulting with others from a different subreddit, I had a good friend pick me up and take me to her house while he was out with his friends. She offered to let me spend Thanksgiving with her and her family, so I left him a voicemail before I left telling him where I was and that I would be home after Thanksgiving dinner. Now he won't stop texting and leaving voicemails begging me to come home. He has also accused me of abandoning him on Thanksgiving even though I'm supposed to cook and host for his immediate family today. To be honest, I am worried about ruining Thanksgiving. His family loves to celebrate holidays, and Thanksgiving is his mother's favorite. I host and cook for every holiday except for Independence Day and Easter. I know that his siblings are not going to care, but it's his parents that I'm worried about. I have a good relationship with them aside from their nosiness, but they are traditional and I worry that if I don't come home and host, it will strain our relationship. My husband thinks that I'm going to ruin the entire holiday if I refuse to come home since he can't cook, and he thinks it will be cruel of me to let his family come to our home expecting dinner when there will be nothing to eat because of me. Update. While I was preparing dinner with my friend, my husband called me. His family has arrived and his parents aren't happy with his explanation about why I'm not there. He didn't tell them the truth and I don't know what he said, but apparently the excuse that he gave was not a good one because they blame him for it. His mother has taken over making all of the food, and instead of turkey she will be reheating some leftover chicken for them to eat. Apparently she scolded him for fighting with me during a holiday when it's supposed to be about spending time with family and reflecting on why you love them. He sounded like he was about to cry while talking. He asked me if I was happy that his with his mother and father was ruined because I wanted to be spiteful and hurt him instead of just putting my feelings aside and spending time with him and his family. And he said that his friend was right about me being a bad wife because I stooped low enough to embarrass him to his family by ghosting them on a holiday. Then he told me that he is coming to get me at 7:30 and hung up. To be honest, I feel awful for making him cry. I know that I should be happy that his parents are supportive even if he did not tell them the real reason. But my husband rarely cries. I feel terrible for hurting him like that. I think that I messed up by not going home, but I don't know what to do. Edit. Not an update, but please stop suggesting that I go to my family. I am no contact with most of my family, including my parents, for a reason that I do not feel comfortable disclosing. The family members that I am in contact with are more distant relatives. And before any of you ask, no, my husband does not have anything to do with why I'm no contact with my parents. I have been no contact with them since before we entered a relationship. And he has never met them. An NBSP. Reminder, I am not the original poster. Oh boy. This is all heading in the wrong direction for Oop. His best friend has also texted me to tell me that I'm a bad wife for treating my husband like this, when he pays for everything and supports my lifestyle. This tells you exactly how low his respect for his wife is. Age gap? Check mark isolated from family? Check mark lack of financial power? Check mark lies and manipulation? Check mark. It's the whole abuse red flag parade. I'm a black woman engaged to a white man. We used to share porn with each other that was WMBW because they looked like us. But the further we looked, the creepier and more obvious it became that it was either this type of fetish or swirlers. Both are racialized fetishes. We don't even bother now. It made us severely uncomfortable and it physically turns both of us off immediately. He has never expressed any desire for race play. This man Oop married is a creep. He's almost 10 years her senior. So he intentionally got with a young, naive black woman and is using his age, race, and financial status to manipulate and control the dynamics of their marriage. She doesn't have a good relationship with her own family, so that made her an even more attractive target. And he waited until they were secure enough in their marriage to drop this on her. Which I highly doubt this is his first transgression. Just one she couldn't ignore. I truly hope she is able to get away from him. She deserves so much better. Edit. A few words. Porn fetish. My ass. This is why he married her. Look at the way he treats her. She cooks all the holiday meals. She doesn't work outside the home. She has no family support. He lies to his family, then blames her when his family doesn't like his lie. He knows she's not coming home to cook for his family, but he lets them show up anyway. He doesn't make any plans to feed them. Nothing to cook. No takeout. No asking anyone to help him get a meal together. And then he calls her and blames her for the consequences of his choices. He doesn't want a wife. He wants a slave. Is there a single point in the story when the husband ever considers her feelings? The red flags just got worse. Girl, get a job and get out now. Local man misunderstands you need 2 people to make consent. More at 8. Welp, that's beyond my pay grade. Oop needs to run and fast. Wow. Just wow. Oop. I fantasize about literally owning you and raping you as a slave. But you should be okay with it because I pay for everything in your life. So I basically already own you. Right? Why won't you come home and serve me and my family for Thanksgiving? How could you disobey my wishes? Quote. Jesus. Wow. Sad to see a post like this where someone gets their head so far up their own ass they trash their marriage over a kink. Kink is supposed to be fun and consensual. Part of me wanted her to tell him, I only do white slavery fetish play. I hope she leaves him and tells his mother why. Hey hun, do you know what makes me really horny? Fantasizing about how multiple generations of your ancestors were enslaved, beaten, tortured and raped, nauseated face vomiting. I do all these things for you. Why won't you let me be racist? Loudly crying. Thank God she found out before they had kids. Wow. The husband is a fool, and she will be too if she goes back to him. He reminded me of all of the things that he has done for me and how much he always supports me and then called me manipulative. Pot meat kettle. For anyone else in the scenario Oop has presented. Because I don't for a second think this new kink of his is actually as new as she thinks. Discuss your kinks and fetishes before actually committing to a relationship with someone. Make up a list of must-haves, and will do, and not under any circumstances. If a new kink pops up over time, you should discuss it with your partner long before it reaches fetish levels. If your partner is willing to try it, great. If they put it on their no way not ever list, let it go. It's not a fetish. It's not necessary for you. If you love them more than yourself, then let that kink die on the vine before it even blossoms. You don't need it more than you need the person you've promised to love and cherish above all else. Don't manipulate. Don't whine. Don't pout. Accept their choice and choose them. Not every sexual desire you have has to be explored. You are not a wild animal. You're a human being capable of self-control and restraint. Should your SID treat you the way OOPs is? Get out. You have the right to draw boundaries and not indulge in sexual exploits that you don't want to do. It's possible if you point out that your SO is being a selfish ass that they might realize their behavior is unacceptable and stop. But if they double down and insist that, if you really love me, you'll try it once, they don't love you enough to sacrifice their want for your need. Leave. Why didn't he tell his family that it was cancelled before they showed up to an empty house? Did Op not have any conversations regarding race before marrying this man? How does he not see how problematic that is? No kink shaming, but your wife said no, dude. Accept it and move on. Jerk. This is the first post like this where I find it hard to even interact with because Op is so clueless. Both her posts and comments reveal she's devaluing herself, but she feels bad for being unhappy. It's frustrating to read.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.